This is Dr. Sudarshan here, bringing to you the latest in the series of videos on neuropsychiatry, on mental health basically for the common persons. Now, today we are going to talk about rewiring of the brain. Rewiring of the brain. Now, previously we used to think that the brain, is something which is, it's a fixed structure, it's a solid structure which cannot be changed. But now we know that the brain is actually very much plastic, which what we call as neuroplasticity. What we call as neuroplasticity, and the brain can actually be rewired. The neural connections, which are just like electrical connections in a house, can be rewired, and the brain can relearn, and that way we can go a long way towards solving problems like anxiety. Now, what is anxiety? Anxiety is basically fear of the unknown. Okay. Now, though anxiety may be present in various situations, I mean, if the anxiety is always free floating, then it is generalized anxiety disorder, or the anxiety may be situation specific, like exams or driving a car or facing a dog. Now, it is how the brain perceives itself. Okay, now when actually you are facing an exam, so for example, now the brain actually thinks it to be an anxiety provoking situation. Now, it may not be an anxiety provoking situation. In fact, it's not an anxiety provoking situation at all. Now, the brain interprets it thus, and this releases the catecholamines and the other neurotransmitters, adrenaline, rush of adrenaline, the fear, flight and flight hormone, and obviously what happens is that we run away. We either emotionally avoid the situation, or we physically run away. Say, for example, a dog, and emotionally running away, not sitting for the exams, or not facing the boss over a difficult question, or the client over a difficult question. So that is emotional avoidance, and one is physically running away, like from a dog. So now, as soon as we avoid, whether physically or emotionally, what happens is that the brain feels a sense of relief. A sense of relief, and so it actually learns that if you avoid, you'll feel a sense of relief. Now, what happens is that this actually motivates the brain to be more anxious when the situation once again presents itself. Once again, when the situation presents itself in front of you, another exam, another dog in the street, okay, another interview, another job interview, and another viva voce exam. So the brain, from its previous experience, has learned that if we emotionally avoid this, or we physically avoid, run away from a barking dog, then we feel a sense of relief. We feel a sense of relief. So brain associates that relaxation and relief with that avoidance. Now, that is where we are going wrong. I mean, we actually are teaching the brain to learn something which is defective, which is not the case. Now, what we used to say earlier is that whenever you feel an anxiety-provoking situation, you try and resist it. You try and resist it through various coping mechanisms and all that. Now, the idea has changed thus, because on resisting the thought, resisting means avoiding the anxiety situation also, what happens is that we actually create more stress within ourselves. We actually create more stress within ourselves, and on creating more stress within ourselves, basically we are exponentially increasing the anxiety. So what's the whole idea of resisting anxiety? Rather, you should practice something which is known as the mindfulness. You learn to accept anxiety. You feel anxiety. You let it come into you. You experience it, and then it will slowly pass. It will slowly pass. Now, this actually leads to a thing known as habituation or sensitization. Okay, the brain learns. Okay, now anxiety per se is not at all bad. Anxiety per se is not at all bad. I mean, it is very unpleasant situation, no doubt, but it is not bad. In fact, it is a great motivator. Anxiety motivates you. Anxiety makes your thinking sharp. Anxiety prepares you to respond. So what is bad about anxiety? Yes, I understand that the feeling is unpleasant, but only the feeling is unpleasant. Like, you have to teach the brain that the anxiety or the anxiety provoking situation is not that bad. It is not bad at all. Only the feeling associated with it is bad. And once you become habituated, even that unpleasant feeling will go away. Okay. Anxiety, when the brain learns that, actually any fear is the fear of death, phobia. So when the brain learns that the anxiety actually does not lead to death, it does not lead to anything, bad, catastrophic. That's when the brain learns to accept anxiety and it adapts itself. Now, when the brain accepts the anxiety, what happens is that basically the neural connections are re-established, rewired. Just like the electrical connections in a house, we rewire it. So rewiring takes place. And this leads to less release of the neurotransmitters like catecholamines and adrenaline. So adrenaline rush and catecholamine rush and other neurotransmitters which deal with anxiety, nuclear flight and flight hormone, they are not pumped out more. Because of the rewiring, they are not pumped out more. And that is the neuroplasticity of the brain. We are able to rewire. We are able to actually make the brain remodel itself so that it does not create the feeling of unpleasantness when faced with an anxious situation, and we are able to cope better. Now, if you're getting panicky, you can accept it. You have to accept it, and then you can practice things like the deep breathing. Okay, you breathe, say 4 times in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth, say 8 times. I mean, 4 and 8 are arbitrary figures. You can make it 3 and 6 and otherwise. Only you inhale, exhale more than the time you inhale, and you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Then you can actually think about the various colors in the room. You can close your eyes and then recollect the colors. You can recollect the various smells you have in the room, the various sounds you can hear in the room. So this is just to decrease the unpleasant feeling. It is not to avoid the anxious situation or the panicky thoughts. Okay. Now, anxiety, as I said, per se is not bad. It is bad only when it interferes with your daily functioning, with your normal routine. As you say, normal is something which does not interfere with your daily routine, and abnormal is something which interferes with your daily routine. So this is what we have to practicing rewiring of the brain. Okay. So we have to accept, we have to learn to accept acceptance, and then we have to commit ourselves. Okay, we have to learn to accept and to commit ourselves, and that is known as basically willingness. Okay, now we have to willingly adapt and increase. This leads to an increase in the courage component. Basically, the courage in our brain, the courageous feelings, and the courage is actually not something it is something brave. is just thinking that things are more important basically than this anxiety provoking situation. So basically we are downgrading the importance of the anxiety provoking situation. It does not become a priority anymore when we are faced with it, and that's when the brain actually learns to relax. Okay, that's when the brain learns to relax. So we have to practice anxiety avoidance. Stop anxiety avoidance. Stop anxiety avoidance. It is only when you do not avoid, you accept, that you will be able to rewire the neurons in your brain. The electrical connections are reset. As I said earlier, I'm just repeating so that you can remember that the anxiety, the chemicals which are released during anxiety, which are pumped out during anxiety, like catecholamines, adrenaline, they are pumped out much less. You learn to accept anxiety, the anxiety provoking situations is part of normal life, and you do not interfere with your normal function. Okay, the coping mechanisms, the strategies you can employ to a certain extent, but to tide over the unpleasant feeling. But you have to allow the unpleasant feeling to come inside your mind. You feel and then let it go. Okay, now that is known as mindfulness, which I will discuss in my next video on mental health. Hope you've been liking my series of videos on mental health. They are available on YouTube and also on my Facebook page, Dr. Sudarshan Sen Sharma. If you like it, do put a like, comment, and subscribe, and also invite your friends to do so. So, till the next video on mental health consult, is bye from my end.